Gates Adams here on behalf of Apex Trader Funding. I'm here today with Paolo in San Diego. Paolo, how you doing today?
I'm doing amazing.
Great. Now, I appreciate you taking a little time with us today. Obviously, we have you here because you have achieved what every funded trader is looking to achieve, which is being a paid funded trader where you're actually pulling money from the process. So we like to highlight these whenever we have an opportunity to. So again, I appreciate the time. And first of all, congratulations.
Thank you so much. It was a journey.
You're
Definitely.
welcome, and it is for all of us for sure. So let's kind of set the stage here if we could. First of all, let's learn a little bit more about your background and as far as trading goes. How long have you actually been trading?
I mean, I dabbled in trading a while. It's probably been 10 years, but no real consistency.
Mhm.
Like I probably messed with like some trend lines here and there, but they were origination from like my end, like my own bias. So no clear direction. When the global pandemic hit, I used to work for the federal government, so they sent us all home, and there really wasn't a whole lot of work. So I got some formal training from different aspects. I actually started in the crypto space first,
Mhm.
and from there, I really got to deep diving and became a full-time trader in crypto. But since that started going down, I needed to expand my genre into other
Sure.
places. I started off with a few other prop firms, but then Apex is really where it's at because of the futures market.
So after crypto, did you go straight to futures, or did you have some gaps in between?
I honestly didn't even, I'll be completely honest with you. Crypto is my first kind of like future style, perpetual style of trading. I didn't even know that you could like trade the downside movements, to be honest. Like, I'll be
Well,
completely honest with you. I thought it was buy low,
I,
sell high.
you said that. I was actually wondering because I've never traded crypto, so I assumed you could trade down, but I didn't have
Yes,
any
you
specific
could,
knowledge.
but I started like investing technically, and then because honestly, during the 2020, you could literally buy anything with your eyes closed, and everything was going up. It was insane, and I honestly thought it was just going to be like that forever. I was like, "There's no way, this is too easy." And then,
Good times for a minute for sure.
yes, good times. And then I think it was April 2021, and then we hit Bitcoin hit 30,000. It went from like 64 to 30,000, and
Right.
that's what I really needed to decide. Like I needed some formal education. So
Sure. Now, you said you had looked at a couple of other firms, and now did you act without necessarily mentioning any names?
of
Did you work
course,
with any of the other firms, or did you just kind of
no.
go through the
Are you saying am I funded with other
right?
firms? I
Or
am
with
now.
anyone? Okay.
I am now. But I think it's only one or two. I would have to check, but one of them expired because they have like time expiration. Like I don't even use them anymore, only because of the spreads.
Okay.
And the commission fees are just really outrageous. That's what I love about Apex is because when I trade, because I'm a low time frame scalper,
Mhm.
like little tick moves for me are fine. Like 20 ticks is like money.
Right.
So, and then with the spread like that, a 20 tick move already happened, but with spreads on like say mostly like MT4 and things like that,
Mhm.
it gets it. My strategy didn't work there.
Got it.
Yeah,
Got it. So what you've learned and what you've put together, it's working obviously well in the futures market, specifically as you've been working with Apex. It sounds like.
oh, absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely.
So actually, how long have you been trading with Apex at this point?
I actually just only started, I want to say about 3 months.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's only been 3 months. Like honestly, I think my phone just gave me an algorithm like, hey, Apex Trader. I was like, what's this? I was like, what? Because I don't use Ninja Trader, I use Atos.
Mhm.
And I saw that there was integration through there, and I was like, okay, I'll give it a try because I API on the crypto space through Atos, so I'm very familiar with it already. So when I just got one at the time, and I was like, what? It's like dollar for dollar, tick for tick. There's no way. Like, because I'm so used to spreads. So
Right.
yeah.
That's great. So obviously, at this point, you've been happy with the process and everything with them. Now, you said you started off with one account. Are you still working with one account with Apex, or do you trade multiple?
No, I have multiple. I have multiple right now. I'm still working on getting all 20 funded.
Sure, it's a process for sure.
It is.
but
It is.
that's the target is maxing out at your 20.
Yes, yes,
Right
absolutely.
on. And are you using the trade copier, or are you trading them individually at different times?
Yeah, I'm not using the trade copier. I don't think it works with ATOS. ATOS has its
Ah,
own,
okay.
but it's still at beta stages. So it
Okay.
actually caused a lot of pain because I didn't know, because when I first started trading it, it copied and didn't close out on some of them.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so I was like, that
Yeah, look, and I'm a Ninja Trader guy, obviously, as you can see behind
yes.
me. But I've been. It's one of those things where yes, there's definitely some slippage. In fact, I think at some point today I had a situation where I had some open trades I was unaware of. It worked out in my favor. It was okay, but
Uh-huh.
it's one of those things where it's every trader's got to determine whether the non-exactness of it is worth it for them, and that's trading in general. You've got to
Hmm.
figure out what works for you and just roll
Yes.
with that. 'Cause
Yes.
that's not going to be the same for everybody, and there's definitely going to be variance across the board. So at this point, obviously you've had the opportunity to trade with your own funds and funding your own account and trading as a funded trader with Apex. For you specifically, have you noticed any sort of a difference in how you operate when you're trading as a funded trader versus having put your own money on the line to begin with?
100%. 100%. And just so when I traded crypto, it was mainly Bitcoin.
Mhm.
I trade both the inverse and the tether pair. So tether is like almost like the digital dollar.
Mhm.
The inverse pair would be like one BTC, and then they pay you in BTCs.
Right.
So the issue that like the learning process through transitioning there was like that martingale type of theory. So, and I blessed enough to have loads amount of Bitcoin because I bought during the crash during the pandemic. So I hold a lot. I'm sorry, that's my phone.
Sure.
And then through that, I sat and read and a couple of times, like that whole mindset as a new trader, like you don't want to lose. You want that 90% win rate, which really isn't necessary. And yeah, so when I transitioned over to Apex, I didn't like losing.
Right.
I didn't like losing. But then I realized at the time, because I used to work for the federal government, they paid me about 90,000 a year. It's not too bad. But then somebody told me while they were watching me trade, it's like, oh my gosh, you made what you worked for 8 hours. I was like, what? And it didn't really click until I did the math.
Right.
And for like, I think it's like $400 a day for a Monday through Friday through a year. That makes you about 100 grand. So
Mhm.
I was like, there's no way it's really just like that. So I primarily trade the ES.
Mhm.
So that with like one contract,
450 doesn't take much.
it doesn't take much. It does not take much at all. Like a 3-point move, you're golden. Like do
Right.
that a couple times a day, maybe once or twice a day,
Sure.
and on multiple accounts, honestly. And then that mindset really changed for me in terms of instead of seeing the thousands of dollars that I'm so used to, but with also the drawdowns with it, like you'll get those, you
Those
know,
swings.
those swings.
Yeah.
And then here I'm 200-300 bucks, multiple accounts, but very little risk. Very, very happy with that. It's very consistent.
Good. Excellent. Well, as we wrap this up, I'll kind of finish it the way I usually do.
Sure, absolutely.
Let's say you're talking to somebody who has gotten to the point where they're looking at funded, becoming a funded trader. And obviously, I'm going to have my bias. They should absolutely look at Apex Trader funding. But company aside, what advice would you give somebody just moving into this space in terms of achieving the level of success that you've achieved so far and continuing forward?
Oh, absolutely. So, everyone's going to say a lot of people say risk management, which is absolutely true. But I want to go beyond that because that's like, I think that should be a foundational thing.
Right.
I think a community would be the most important thing, whether that be an online community or a support system at home. Like my wife, she's very supportive of what I do. I'm a full-time trader now. It was a conversation that we had, and she's like, she supports my passion. Like this is a passion. This is not work for me. I love trading. I love analysis. I love, being in positions, things like that, seeing wins. I'm addicted to winning, even if
Right.
it's little small things. And like if it's just yourself, because trading is very lonely, like it's just you in front of a screen. if you don't have like a, let's say like a Discord community or a Twitter community, whatever it may be, you know, or a bunch of friends that do trade as well, or even on top of that, like a family member that doesn't support what you do, is going to be very difficult, you know. And that's what I would recommend for anyone starting out, is that they find that support system, because it does get pretty lonely, and then, you know, you got to have a purpose with what you do.
I 100% agree. I often refer to basically sitting here in here, what I refer to as my cockpit with my 9 screens.
Yes.
Now, that's not all trading. That happens to be multiple computers and tablets for different stuff. But when you're in this world, it can be very, very lonely and very one-on-one. And I do think that community makes a huge difference. And so
Yes.
100% would agree with you on that. And I appreciate that. So, well, this has been great. I appreciate the time. I always just get so much enjoyment out of these because we're highlighting, of course, the wins. And one of the things that I really love to do is check back a few months later and maybe do a little recap interview and kind of see how things are continuing to go. Does that sound like something you'd be up for in a couple months?
Oh, absolutely. Then
Fantastic.
hopefully in a couple months, I'll say, hey, man, I got that 20 already.
There you go. 20 up and running. So we'll
Yep.
be looking forward to that. So, well, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for
Much.
continuing to provide some leadership and keep doing what you're doing. Obviously, it's working, and we love to see these just continued and consistent levels of success.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Thanks, Paolo. We'll talk to you soon.